Dynamic! Fatality.
How's it going, guys? Dynamic Entory here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. This time it's time for a news flash. JP Dokkan Battle just got a new strike event, or rather an old one got updated. A lot of us were expecting Intelligence Mecha Frieza to get a Dokkan Awakening to a Super Strike. We were wondering how that could work, since he already Dokkans to Golden Frieza, the intelligence one that most of us use as our intelligence mono leader. Of course, the mechanics currently in the game don't really allow for having two Dokkan Awakenings from the same character. Some cards can Dokkan twice, but that's not the same as having two Dokkan Awakenings for one character. So a lot of us were wondering how they were going to implement it. There was some speculation about maybe we could swipe to a different Dokkan Awakening, but that's not the case. Instead, the developers decided to give us a new Mecha Frieza. He's physical typed, and that Mecha Frieza actually Dokkans into the Super Strike version, which you can see on the left here. So the Intelligence Mecha Frieza does not Dokkan into a Super Strike version as of now. He does still Dokkan into the Golden Frieza version if you don't have it, and to be honest, the Golden Frieza version is kind of same-ish to the current physical one. Their leader skill is a bit different, but overall they have a samey feel. So let's briefly talk about this new Frieza while we're at it. We're not going to talk about the SR, let's just have a look at the SSR here. First note that his HP is actually quite low. 6,700 is pretty low for an SSR. 7,200 attack is decent. It's still a bit low. It's definitely nothing top tier. And 4,000 defense, approximately 4,000, is just fine. There's no need for more or less. Okay, so he has 130 12 key multiplier, which is decent. Nothing special. His leader ability gives 3 key to intelligence and physical type, so as a key leader he's actually kind of better than the intelligence Golden Frieza, but you're not going to use this card all that much as a leader because there's just so much better leaders out there. Not the least of which is physical full power Frieza, which gives 3 key to physical and 3,000 attack to them as well. He's a transcended UR. So you're not going to be using this Mecha Frieza in physical mono, unless of course you don't have anything better. Then it's perfectly valid to use him. He does Death Beam as his super attack, which reduces the opponent's attack and does huge damage. Of course, huge damage sucks for an SSR, however you can raise his super attack level up to 15, as you can with all Dokkan Awakenable strike event characters, the so-called Super Strike cards. And once you hit 15, super attack level 15, he does almost as much as an extreme super attack at level 10. And on top of that, he also gets a new bonus feature, which in this case I think is that he supers at 9 key, which is cool. That's a really cool ability to have. So now let's have a look at his passive. Release of Anger is what it's translated as here. He gets 40% attack up if he has 6 key or more. That's very similar to the Intelligence Golden Frieza, who gets 42% up if he has a certain amount of key. So they definitely went for a theme here with the Mecha Frieza. I like it, even though it's kind of similar. In terms of links though, I find this card very disappointing. It's kind of sad really, because I really like the idea of having a free physical Frieza type character. So far we've only had King Cold, and you kind of want a full Frieza team because King Cold does not have Universe's Most Malevolent. So let's actually have a look at the links of this new card, and let me just tell you why I find him a bit disappointing. Now first off, he has the Prodigies link. Prodigies links him up with Vegeta and Piccolo cards for 700 attack. That's quite decent. It's not a great link, but it's fine. The next one is what's called Assault here. It's called Bombardment in the global version. It gives attack plus 15%, plus 15, not 50, for all strike event cards. Decent link, but you're not going to use it very often unless you're playing a Super Strike team, and we'll talk about why that might be relevant later. Universe's Most Malevolent, attack plus 15% with other Frieza cards. Great link to have. Resurrection, or in global it's called Revival, is a really cool underdog Link. It links him up with cards like Golden Frieza's, all of them, the Fat Majin Buu, the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, who else? The Perfect Cells, and some other really cool cards. So it's not a great key link, but it's better than none. And then he has Mechanical System, which really is a shitty ass link. It gives +1 key to some robot type cards. The only other relevant card in that list is the other Mecha Frieza, which you can't link him with, and what's he called? Rildo, General Rildo, which you also won't use. So this link sucks. On top of that, he has Super Hit, which is actually something like a super bombardment link, which gives him +20% attack with the Super Strike characters. So it's really cool that if you play a Super Strike team, you get a lot of attack up. You get 20% attack up from this link, and then 15% up from the regular bombardment link. Now here's my real problem with this card. He doesn't have Strongest Clan in Space. Now I'll put Strongest Clan in Space here on the screen right now. Pretty much all of the Frieza cards have it, except for the Dokkan Awakened Golden Friezas and the Intelligence Summonable Golden Frieza. Well, the only Golden Frieza that has it is this Agility one, but other than that, pretty much every Frieza Clan card has this link, and it's a fantastic key link if you're playing a Frieza type team. And that's really the only place where you're going to want to use this Mecha Frieza, is if you don't have full power of Frieza, for example, as your physical in a Frieza team. Now the problem is, he doesn't have the only real key link in the Frieza team, which is Strongest Clan in Space. Now, the physical King Cold Super Strike does have it. So in any situation where you're playing a physical Frieza in a Frieza Rainbow team, you're going to want to pick either the full power Frieza, or if you don't have him, the Super Strike King Cold. And since King Cold is also free, you're pretty much always going to pick King Cold over him. Now, of course, King Cold does less damage, but King Cold has utility. He lowers the attack of the enemy, and he links with 2 key with all of your other cards. He doesn't drag down your team as much as the physical Mecha Frieza does, and I really hope this is a fuck up on Bandai's part, and I hope they give this Mecha Frieza Strongest Clan in Space at some point in the future. Now let's talk briefly about why the Super Strike cards matter. We actually have confirmation that in the future there will be some very limited events where you can Dokkan cards to level 150. We don't know which cards those are yet, but we know you can Dokkan some cards to 150, and you can only get the medals to do so in an event where you can only use Super Strike characters, like this Mecha Frieza, the Cyborg Tao, the Jackie-chan, King Cold, and Vegeta, and all of the other Super Strike characters that are coming out soon. So for a Super Strike card in a Super Strike team, this guy is actually really good, because he has a lot of damage potential, which some of the other cards lack. So yeah, my overall opinion of this card is, he's not great. I definitely wish he had Strongest Clan in Space, but he's a decent card for being free, and I think it's cool that we have a second Mecha Frieza, and one of them being an SSR. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you're hyped for Mecha Frieza, and also leave a like if you're pissed off that this guy does not have Strongest Clan in Space. Tell me your opinion on this card and Super Strikes in general in the comments below. Subscribe for more card reviews, news on Dokkan Battle, event guides, and all kinds of different videos like summonings and other Dragon Ball Z content that I'm going to do in the future. I'll see you in the next video that I'll make. Bye guys.